Hello, my name is Taylor Jensen, and today I'm going to be talking about senior living communities and the evolution of retirement. First, I would like to go into a brief background of senior living communities and then go into two of my primary topics. So, senior living has for a long time been associated with nursing homes and assisted living, but as the next generation begins to enter retirement, they were redefining the perceptions of senior living. So, today I'm going to talk about the foundation of senior living communities and then how those that are entering retirement and currently in retirement are beginning to really rebrand and re-identify with how senior living is. So there are two primary areas that are evident of senior living evolution that have emerged through my research. The first area is the baby boomer generation, and the second area is rebranding. I'm going to talk about my analysis of both of these areas, and I focused on two primary questions. So the first question is, what is the current relevance of the senior living industry and who does it affect? And the second is, how has the senior living industry adapted to the changing needs of the current and prospective residents? So first I want to go into the significance of senior living. The senior living industry is well established and is continuing to grow. Currently, there are over 47.8 million people over the age of 65 in the United States. And it's projected by 2060 that over 90.2 million people will be over the age of 65. So Census.gov also says that this is almost 1 in 4 of U.S. residents. So this is a very large percentage of our population, and it's only continuing to expand. So senior living encompasses many types of communities, and it ranges in levels of care. So the levels of care include independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and hospice care. And within each level of care, specific services are provided for the resident, especially as their healthcare needs change. So senior living communities can focus on one level of care, two levels, a combination, or can range from all the way from independent living to memory care and hospice care. So when a community ranges from many levels of care, that's called a continuing care retirement community. And currently, there are over 4,815 continuing care retirement communities in the United States. This number, again, is continuing to grow and really shows the relevance of this type of community for those that are becoming 65 and older, or thinking about retirement, and especially their families who will help them through that transition. So for the most recent data in 2012 from Census.gov, over 400,000 people were employed by continuing care retirement communities across the United States. This industry, this contributes to an industry of over $27 billion in revenue, and really just shows how big and expansive this industry is and how important it is to really adapt to the changing needs of their customers, which are their residents. So first, I want to talk about the baby boomer generation, and then I want to go into the rebranding efforts that have been taking place. So the baby boomer generation has individuals that were born between 1946 and 1964. So they began turning 65 in 2011, and by 2020 will primarily be in the pre and early retirement ages, which is 55 to 64 years old. This is typically the target market for continuing care retirement communities and senior living communities, as they want people to become interested in them as their healthcare needs start to increase, and not really discount them for the things that they can offer them. So this population and their children really help define the senior living industry. So as they begin to enter, the children are likely a part of this transition process. Usually it's a daughter, a son, or even a niece or nephew that's really integral in deciding where their parents or their aunt or their uncle, their family member, their loved one should go to really enter this new phase in their life. So some of the needs beyond healthcare are they want to remain independent. They want to have a social life. They want to stay, they want health and wellness activities and community involvement. And so the baby boomer generation really helped redefine what senior living is and what retirement should look like. So this really was the start of the rebranding effort. So the rebranding effort began with Project Namestorm. And Project Namestorm is a collaborative effort of leading senior living organizations and marketing advertising firms. So The task force for Project Namestorm was led by Leading Age and Mather Lifeways, but also included Brooks Adams Research, Glenn Devins, Love and Company, SB&A Integrated Marketing, and Varsity. So each of these agencies and organizations really wanted to help contribute to finding what the new industry name should be for continuing care retirement communities. This rebranding effort included a vast amount of research, including prospecting or polling more than 4,000 prospective and current CCRC residents. After all of the research had been done over a 2-year time period, if not more, the new designated category name would be Life Plan Communities. They felt that Life Plan Communities encompassed what their residents and prospective residents really wanted out of a continuing care retirement community. They wanted something that focused on their health and wellness, community involvement, and healthcare when it's needed. So the goal of this was to develop the new brand category name that really helped message what their goals are and what their communities were like for the next 10 years and for the generations to come. So Lifetime communities speak to the residents' lifestyles while still catering to their healthcare needs. Overall, the senior living industry is vast, and the number of seniors aged 65 and older demonstrates its relevancy. So the need to adjust the senior living industry to the evolving needs and wants of the baby boomer population and the generation after them is really important and addressed by Project Namestorm, the initiative that took on the rebranding efforts of this rebranding to Life Plan Communities. So the desire to stay active and involved throughout retirement is reflected by this rebranding effort and by the new name, which is Life Plan Communities, and it will continue as the senior living industry continues to evolve. So levels of care in senior living is just one of the primary focuses of senior living communities. And as we saw through the baby boomer generation and through Project Namestorm, those needs continue to change, and adapting to those needs just shows how expansive senior living is and how important and relevant it is to our aging population. Thank you.